Hey guys, it's Ben here from Second Dynasty. Don't have very much in the background at the moment because I am mostly in After Effects doing some compositions. I have with me on the line John from John Games. Apparently John Games is not a thing, but I made it up and he's stuck with it. John, are you there? You really have. And now everyone can see you in glorious high definition detail. Oh, no, you can't. Where are we, John? Why are we here? What did you want to share? No, no, no. They can't hear you. Hang on. Let's restart this in a second. I realize I don't actually have any. Haven't added the sound for my system. Hang on. Media source. Is that what I want? Let's see. No, not media source. Add audio output capture. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
No, they can't hear yet. Now they should hear you.
All right, this is my fault. I asked Ben at the last second to
He
let me
did.
join him.
All right, John. Let's back things up. Imagine that I've just switched over to you and said, "Hi, John. Are you there?"
I've been here the whole time.
Are you reading from a script?
I wanted to show off something really cool. It's the shuttle.
Sorry.
You can get
Yeah.
you can get this as a free bonus thing if you sign up on the My Mini Factory thing, and you get it in like 2 days or something. Is that right? You'll get the file.
Well, no, you could get it possibly immediately. I don't know. The thing is, my mini factory, they're based in England. It's a bank holiday on Monday, so it's a long weekend. So they didn't want to make any promises with attributing it to accounts until people were back from that. You may get it beforehand, especially if you do it today. Just no guarantees.
The best part about this is it came with 3MFs. Now, I'm a beginner print person. I still get the orientations wrong, I get the things wrong, but Ben gave me two 3MF files, which are included in this one. And it has my build plate done, it has my settings done, it has advanced stuff done to each file, it has the seams correctly set inside Prusa Slicer. It was literally loaded into the thing, put on the USB stick, and print. And 1 day later, 24 hours was how much it took to print the whole thing. I could have sped it up, but I didn't. It came out, and it came out wonderfully. I did make my Nerney clips too thin, but that's my fault, and I will fix that. But it opens, look, inside's blue. Blue inside. If it was green, it would die. And it has working doors. It's such an amazing ship. I love it. And the store works too. Yeah.
I'm glad it really worked out well, and it seems like you're getting much better quality prints out of that Prusament now that you're not using trash filament.
Yeah, that was garbage filament. It had lots of mistakes. I could visibly tell the diameter was changing on that thing.
Yeah, I would rather throw out that stuff than use it, to be honest, but oh well.
But yeah,
So you're happy with the
ship's
results?
amazing. Please sign up for this. It's a freebie.
Has anyone
the
in the chat
detail.
already got theirs? I know some people signed up for it yesterday when we put the send-outs. I knew that as of this morning we had 255 sign-ups, so hopefully MMF might have sent out some of them. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to do it. But yeah, I've geared up my my Prusa slicer here, so this is exactly what John was talking about. He has worked even more with this to put all of the parts on one build plate, whereas we did it on two. Not sure that's possible anymore, as we didn't include any floor pieces in yesterday's version. There's a new 1.2 version out with those floor pieces included. The beauty of this is you just open up Prusa Slicer. Now this, I've opened it up with the settings, right? But say you have, like we have normally got, let's do a new project, discard all of this and switch back to our printer, which is a Mark 3S. And if you, instead of opening the project, go import, and let's see, here we go. Instead of getting that print bed, it's going to tell you that, just to warn you about some objects because it's a bit different. But yeah, you can import it in and it's all there. And let's see if we test the slicer. Well, will you look at that? It's okay. All right. The one thing it didn't bring is the support. Oh, but that's because I haven't got the settings on here. So
Yeah, you have it set not to. Have it set to none.
Oh, sorry. You were asking earlier if anyone had gotten the files, and Tansin said that she signed up yesterday but haven't got the files yet.
I'm not surprised. I think it will take a while for MMF to send it out, but it will come. It will come. And you can be as John and print it out on your printer. And the beauty is, like, the Prusa Mini is pretty much one of the smaller printers out there on the market. So I think it's safe to say that pretty much any build plate should be able to take this. I think. John, do you know offhand what the build plate size is for the Mini?
18 centimeters by 18 centimeters.
So that's what, like 7 inches?
I don't know inches.
It's basically 6.5 to 7 inches, approximately. John doesn't know inches.
I'm American. I use metric.
What world are we in?
Anyway, it's been a blast. I thank you for letting me come by. But this ship is amazing. You could have this ship in at most like 4 days if you have a really slow printer. Come on, sign up. I put the link in there. I'm very happy. I mean, this is my first spaceship. This is my second Dynasty spaceship.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course it is. What am I saying, really? You only just got your printer.
Mm-hmm. This is also my first one with Prusament. Buy Prusament. This is not a sponsorship. This is just Prusament's way better.
Oh, yes. No, I agree with that. Premium filament really is worth forking out for because it's not just like it will give a better end result, but it will also error far less often. Which will, result in you keeping more hair, if you have hair.
Everyone has hair, especially Ben.
Well, that's true. All right, John, is that all you wanted to share today, mate?
Yeah.
You're not going to preach about 3DO?
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing. 3DO is still amazing, and I will talk to you. I'll bug you. I'm going to be in the chat now.
All right.
Cut me out now.
Okay. You've been cut out, and I'll hang up as to preserve and conserve some bandwidth. Let's see. What were we looking at? This may be a shorter session. I told you guys last week that this may be like a launch thing, but I talked to MMF. They sadly needed to delay, and so we have now set May the 4th. Yes, the irony, I know, a campaign called Starship The Next Generation on Star Wars Day is going to set some people on the spectrum off, I'm sure, especially when the tiles aren't even, they're not even Star Trek themed, they're more like Ron Cobb-esque, sort of alien inspired, so I apologize to anyone that might be itching at your sensibilities. We have had a bit of a nightmare morning as far as Maya crashes are being concerned, although I don't think, in all honesty, it's Maya that is causing the crashes. I think it's Adobe, because Adobe sucks. Or rather, it is a memory thief. It likes to steal memory. It doesn't, like, I have a big, hefty rig with a 3090 graphics card. I've got 64 gig of memory. I've got, 2 terabyte M2 cards in the computer, and it crashes frequently when we have both Maya and like some Adobe programs open at the same time. So something's going on there. I blame Adobe, even though Maya can be equally fickly.
We got some comments. Sorry to interrupt, but First of all, John said thanks for letting me bug you and show me stuff. I don't know if you want to dig deep in that. And someone said it's blasphemy with the mix. And someone said, may the fourth be with you, Spock. And may the squats be with you. We shall celebrate the sci-fi.
It will be a bit eclectic, I'll admit that. And this is After Effects too. We're not really looking into After Effects at the moment. If we're honest, I'm going to close that off. We're going to open up Maya. But I am going to save this. It's all my own fault. Well, no, that's not true. After Effects is definitely to blame partially, and Premiere, Adobe in general. So I'm not going to back down from that. But we were starting a composition, so we've sort of moved on where we talked to MMF. Let's get my Maya scene up. It's pretty hefty. It could be the fact that our Maya scenes at the moment are around the 2.5 gig range, which is not great for the hard drive space. I think part of the issue is that the hard drive didn't have enough room, basically, to do some processes. That's my best working theory at the moment. So we're just loading up our most recent scene, and if this went according to... Why is this not working? Let's see. Why is this not working? Engineering sequence, new.
I just have to...
Yeah, go on.
Tamsin wrote... okay. In space, no one can hear Darth Picard scream. Right? It's... Oh my god. That's too funny.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, Darth Picard could be talking about the character from the series Picard, which is definitely not the Picard we knew from the television series or even the films. Yes, shots fired. Picard is shite. It's certainly not Star Trek. But then again, we haven't seen Star Trek since before the JJ films, right? Anyway, we have these sequences we're working on, and I realize my head is in the way. How can we fix this? If I move this over there. So, yeah. A couple of sequences we've been working on. This first one you've already seen, of course, is the classic side-scroller. Albin has made a sequence too, but it hasn't made it in yet. Is this cutting short? It is going to cut short, isn't it? No? Yes? Yes. It's meant to go longer than that. So I haven't quite figured out why it's doing that. Maybe... Oh, there we go. There we go. So we're getting to the phase where we're preparing the pitch video for Wednesday. Because we needed to... a lot of my energy's actually gone this week into the updates we sent out. Most of you, since you already would have been backers, would have already experienced this. Yeah, I've been working on light effects. I watched Alien yesterday for some inspiration. But yeah, we're by no means finished with this. This will be done by Wednesday, hopefully, when we launch. I wasn't too happy with the news that we would have to launch later, but on one end of things, I'm kind of happy because we didn't really have the time we needed to do anything. But Wednesday is both my birthday and also the day before I'm supposed to host an animation festival. So timing is not good. I would say not good at all. Which is also why we might be having a shorter session, so I can just go and cry a little bit over how much stress we have. We haven't done any editing on this imagery. This is sort of like Albin's scene, and we're going to look at this in Maya now.
Oh, by the way, I think the render is out.
Yes, but I don't trust it not to crash while we're streaming. So this is the scene we took that sequence from, and as you can kind of see, we've just cut out a bunch of unnecessary wall details. I'm going to make a new animation of this too. It is a little bit slow in its responsiveness. This would be a combination of, resources being taken up by OBS and by getting basically it's a heavy scene anyway, where we've got a lot of light and shadows. We've got the maximum number of lights going. Why isn't the background black? That should be black.
We've got a little question here, though, if I may interrupt.
Oh, well, I'm not. I can hardly stop you, Alvin.
Todd Spurgeon wondered, can we have those flourish models to glue onto miniature guns?
If you want those flourish models, you should go to Deadly Print Studios. They made those items. I backed their campaign ages ago. They have a bunch of special effects that you can print out. So I would recommend checking them out. And also, before we get too far with things, I will dump in the chat the link once more. Let's see. Here we go. So this is the sign up link I'm putting. Oh, I can't put it in the chat. What am I doing? YouTube. I can go to YouTube. Let's see. Content. Content. Live. And we've got this current one. And maybe I can go. Wait. It's just in analytics. Where can I get to the video itself? Sorry, I'm still fairly new to all of this stuff. It says live. More actions. I don't want to delete it while I'm running it. Details. Customization. Analytics. I don't know. I can't get to the chat. Albin, you can see it. It's pinned in the.
Sorry, what?
I'll send it to you. If you can put this in the chat. See if it allows it. So that would be the link to the. Well, it seems like you can put links in. That would be the link to the front page of. Let me get it up so I can share it on stream. So essentially, this is the page, right? It is the advertisement for the campaign we're launching on Wednesday. We'll probably be launching at around about, I would say, like 5 or 6 o'clock Central European time. So that would be around about 9 or 10 in the morning, East Coast US, something like that. Since it is on the MMF platform, we never know exactly when we're launching. Hopefully we will stream, but we won't be waiting for them this time around. I have kind of bullied them a little bit about that point, so hopefully they've taken that to heart. But yeah, we are premiering a new service on My Mini Factory. Basically, they have acknowledged the issues that they've had with their crowdfunding tools, where it's not technically crowdfunding since you actually get access to the product afterwards. So this is actually called Frontiers instead, which I kind of like as a name. It works for science fiction and it works for fantasy, so it's going to work for the whole community. But at the moment, basically, we have this sign up page and you can get this free sample shuttle up until that point. And it will be attributed to your account possibly today, but more likely Tuesday when they get back. Unfortunately, it's a long weekend in the UK. But yeah, so far we know that, at least 250 people have signed up, which is great. It means there's actually at least an interest in our free sample model, if nothing else. But yeah.
It looks awesome, that picture.
Yeah, it was painted by David Woods from DW Artist. Well, I guess it's David Wood Artist. Great bloke in the UK, does fantastic work. And basically, yeah, this was a custom version of the shuttle that actually turned into its own thing. We have, as John mentioned, we've done the build plates so that you can just import it straight in and start printing. The only things you might need to play with are the infill and turning the support enforcers on. And if you were there at the start of the stream, you would have seen John's fantastic model. Alrighty, so what can we do now? Basically, I'm creating some kind of pitch film based on these sequences that we just rendered out. I may do a version of this where I turn off the lights. The reason being that even though these are meant to be like, if you look at this scene, I've animated the light, right? The models themselves don't move aside from this dodgy looking shadow that's turning up here. But if you look at this sequence, which we have animated the gunfire, but we're still seeing these lights when it's turned off. So there are a couple of things that we could do. We could just animate the sequence to turn off the meshes when there is no light, but we have a problem. Those lights are actually keyed to an expression, and I'm not enough of a programmer, or at least not confident enough of a programmer, to sit here on stream and try to figure out how we can program these meshes to disappear when there is no light. But what I can do is render out a version of this sequence where the lights are turned off, and what we can do is in After Effects or Premiere add it in as a layer that we just manually turn on or off so that the gunfire disappears. Or we could just leave it in. We'll see if we can be asked or not in the end of things. This is meant to be a quick and dirty campaign. But I do also want to add another sequence. I think we haven't worked with any light here. Really, this needs some increased exposure. Let's see if we can find that as a, let's see, effects. Exponential fade is not what we're looking for. We want some kind of video effect. See, this is where After Effects is better than Premiere, but it kind of sucks for exporting stuff. I get the feeling this is not a good phrase in English. Eat me or print me. The option is what?
It's a bit of a detour.
He needs to be banned from the chat. Yeah. And you are the only mod, I think, technically. What I would really like to do is one of the features of this scene, rather, that I really enjoy is this animated fan. And I don't think we see it enough. So I want to get some kind of like filler shots where we can just sort of like concentrate our focus on this general area. If I was really cheeky, I wonder if the geometry for this is still hiding somewhere. So we want to create a shot like this. I don't know. Guys, I'm a little bit all over the place today, which I don't know if I should really get started on anything at all, even though well, I mean, I had a headache beforehand. I felt dizzy. I still kind of do, and there's a lot of stuff going on in my head at the moment. So it's like I don't even have a plan for this stream whatsoever. It's just like show off the model, see what happens. This might be getting a little too Australian for comfort. It's also a Friday, so this would be the part if I was in my homeland where we would say, fuck it, let's go to the pub. So, yeah. Thinking of that, I really hope my wife brings home some beer today. Nice. Let's see. Okay, got any questions, guys?
So we should save that as a GIF that displays on the campaign page. It would look good. So Todd Spurgeon said. I'm not quite sure if I catch the moment he's referring to though.
No, I'm not sure either, to be honest. I figured that it seems like something's off about this fan, so I'm just going to take the time to investigate what could be going on with this thing. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the shadows, and you'll notice the performance increases extremely much. And in fact, if we really wanted to get specific here with the lighting, if we can get our way through all this mess, if I select this light and essentially just, I'm going to group these in their own subgroup because they're the lights I don't want to have on. And we select this one, which is red light iris 2. So if I just hide these other lights aside from it, like so, this becomes the only light source. We might leave on the sky dome actually, because that's only contributing some ambient light. And we can turn the shadows back on, and we should still get a fairly responsive scene, right? Because it's not trying to calculate 16 lights, all of a sudden it's only trying to do 2. One of which doesn't even have shadows. So that's a tip from Todd. If you've got a scene and you want to work on specific lighting, to turn off the other lights just to isolate it for a bit, right? So what I'm seeing, or was seeing, was a little bit of wobble with the fan. So let's just play this and see. Yeah, we're definitely getting some wobble there. Now the cause of the wobble is most likely related to the pivot point not being centered. And as we can see here, it's actually not. At least I don't think so. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Oh.
It seems a bit off. Alright, so basically I'm just going to change this by putting the pivot point there instead. And we should be able to see this immediately. Yeah, that looks better, right? If we look at it in the frame, it shouldn't be wobbling anymore. Much better. Now, the fan is ugly as sin, though. Because we made it way back in the day. I think this is made in Starship 2. And you can kind of see from the geometry that it's just shot. And if we smooth it, we get... it looks alright-ish, but we can do better, I feel. So how are we going to do this any better? I think we're going to grab our primary. Now this is a point where we should turn off lighting because it's going to take too much time. We're just going to grab our primary sort of like features, and we're going to create some... what's it called? Mesh. We're going to mesh smooth, but first we are going to use the Crease Tool, which will allow us to control certain edges. So now if we press 3, you can see these have these rounded, awkward edges, but where we specify the thicker ones, we're controlling exactly... We're basically telling these edge loops to stick to their original sort of positions, to not just smooth until you can't really recognize them anymore. So it's essentially a way to smooth things but keep the hard edges you want. Alright, Alvin, anything else?
Yeah, well, we got a comment that it's a old ship. The fans may be likely to wobble a little bit, and it can still munch on fingers, so it looks good.
Well, I don't disagree with you. Maybe I'm slightly on the spectrum myself, and that's really, really bothering me. So I am going to fix it. And besides, I've already committed. This is what I'm streaming today, guys. Congratulations. Please like and subscribe. I think that's the first time I've ever said like and subscribe.
This is like a hallmark, not a hallmark. What do you call it?
I don't know what you mean, Alvin. I'm too tired, and it's Friday afternoon. There's no beer in my mouth. The hope of beer is slim. Although it is payday. And day lady. Oh, I don't know. All right, we've got our smooth on. So now this looks shinier at least. But, you know, we may as well just go ahead, double check that it all looks good. And we'll do a, basically this here is a shortcut to exchange out all that mesh smoothness to, you know, the actual final product. And I'll even run like a quick smooth on this, which will give us those hard edges. And now switch our lights back on and let's check this again.
Blasted Camouflage said that the engine room reminds me of the one from Galaxy Quest.
No, well, is that the engine room where they've got the unnecessary traps like the fire and the sort of like blades and stuff?
It might be so, as he earlier commented, that it seems a bit inefficient of a design to having fans, especially when there's no safety guards. So that's probably it.
What, the safety guards here? There's this thing holding it in place. It'll stop most of your body from going through. I mean, we've got to think about the scale here. It's not that big. We've cheated with the light source here a little bit by placing it a bit higher than it really should be. I might actually see if we can get some more red out on the floor here by lifting it up just a tad.
Now they want the Galaxy Quest specials.
Ah, well. I should expect this stuff by now. Oh, we got it on the floor, but then... the problem here is we've got it on the floor, but we've also got it against this wall. And I don't believe... Now, in Maya, you do have such a thing as barn doors on spotlights that you can activate. And we do have them activated. It's just they don't seem to be affecting anything. So top barn door, if we put it at 90%, that should have basically cut off the top half of this light. It has not done that. So it looks like barn doors unfortunately only work in render mode. So basically we need to get this down low enough that we're not casting that light up the top. Like so, and I'm willing to bet our floor's gone. Yeah. Oh well. Although we could maybe cheat.
Yes.
And let's talk about cheating. So basically in Maya you can create some objects and have them not appear at render time. And I think we'll make this our sort of like final frontier for today. We'll see. I'm going to turn on the grid because I want to create a new object. And basically I'm going to just start by creating my own faces. And I'm going to put this on here. So right, we've created a plane. I'm going to extrude this up. Let's see, extrude. And I'm going to go up here. So this should now be at the same height. Oh, what the hell's that thing out there? What is that? Oh. And basically if we move this object now, let's center the pivot so we can easily move it. See how it's blocking the light? So either we could stick it up here, and that's fine and good, but really what I want to do is stick it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the normals so it's inside out, and then I'm going to turn on back face culling, and you should be able to see through this object. And it is now, oh right, yeah, we need to turn off the end of the object so it's sticking out a little bit. So essentially you see the inside of the object, but it's actually in Maya saying like the shadows do not move past this point. So we can see inside of it, it's effectively invisible, but it's no longer casting on the wall. And as long as we move this up high enough, but not outside of that invisible box, it should give us those nice shadows we're looking for on the floor, right? Or light, rather. See, we're getting this nice light effect. Oh, I may have to re-render the original thing with this concept. That's just beautiful. So we get this nice atmospheric look. But we're not getting that huge big reflection on the wall, which is ruining things, right? So yeah, that's a nice little trick of the trade. Let's get our lights back on. So we should just be enabling all of these now. It's gonna process things for a little bit. And now you can see the slowness has returned. I'm just going to disable the HUD. I'm going to disable the lights.
They thought that your
and the grid.
Sheet was cool, and then they talked about chompers, rock lobsters, sheeting crustaceans, and geeknack. I don't understand that.
I don't get that reference either. But here we go. We've got this nice little shadow going. And I'm just going to read into that you guys saying that I'm awesome. So we'll leave it at that. And in fact, that's a great place to leave things today. Like I said, I'm going to cut things short today. We're going to stream next week. It'll be a longer stream because we're launching. I guess it'll mostly be about showing off what we have built and made. But yeah, aside from those 3MF files, like this is not the end of 3MF. As far as we're concerned, in the future we're going to be able to hopefully use 3DO to manipulate 3MF components so that you can customize wall pieces and whatnot and actually get an STL file out of it. But we're not quite there yet. That's going to be further down the line. In the meantime, we're completing our deliveries with these 3MF print beds so that you have something that you can just throw straight on the printer. And as long as you've got your printer relatively next stream with beer, I mean, that's tempting. We'll see how it goes. Maybe not, because the thing with hosting the festival is we're having the live festival again, which basically means it's 3 days of drinking. So adding a fourth might be undesirable. I am quite old at this point, and my body can't take it. All right. We will leave things at that, I think, guys. Thanks for joining me. I am, again, sorry about the shorter stream today. I think my phone thought I was talking to it. It heard me thanking it. And
what I should call you from now on?
Shut up! It just asked if... my phone just asked me if it should call me Stuart from now on. No, it's not. My name is Ben. Shut up.
Should I call you Owens from now on?
Bye, guys.